Hey Zoe, I'm really sorry you couldn't come to piano today, but that's totally fine. Whenever people can't make it to the lessons, we send video lessons, just a short kind of 10-minute lesson to where you can still learn a little bit even though you're out for the week. So, last week we talked about roar a lot, and I even texted your mom a video of like how to set up your hands and everything, so hopefully you've been able to practice that a little bit. But I'm going to just go over it again and maybe add a little bit on to it. But it shouldn't be too much different than what we did last week. So I'm going to play through it a little bit. I don't know if I played all the way through the chorus for you yet, but I'm going to just do that now so you can kind of hear how it's going to be whenever we play it. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do today. So, I'm going to turn this so you can see the piano more. So, how we did it last week was, let's focus a little bit more on that. There we go. We did it to where your right hand was on D and G. So, if you'll remember, if you'll find the two black notes in the middle, the one in between those is D, but the one right below it's C. So, that's middle C that we always have to remember. D's right after it. So you're going to put your thumb on D, and then E, F, G, you're going to put your pinky on G. Like that. Now, if there's another finger that feels better, like I'll probably use my third finger. That feels better to me sometimes. But some people like to use this finger. Some people will use that one. It's whichever finger. But I think last week we did our pinky, and that worked for you. So, my hand's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to use my third finger. But I'm still going to be playing just D and G. Now, your left hand, you're going to set up to where, so I'm going to scoot this over just a tad. Your left hand, you're going to put your thumb on G, and then line each of your fingers up. And remember, we kind of want to curve our hand a little bit. We don't want to curve it too far, but we don't want it to be straight. So just a relaxed kind of curve, okay? So I'm going to play it for you first, and then we'll talk about it. So. Used to bite my tongue and hold my breath. Scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agree politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I'll let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up. Already pushing past the dust, and in my voice you hear that sound, like thunder clouds shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. I can't remember the words. Yeah. See it all, see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, the fighter, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Okay, so that's the main gist of it. Now, whenever we get to the pre-chorus, you held me down, but I got up, it's going to change a little bit. So before we talk about everything, let's talk about the different parts of a song. So we might have talked about this just a tiny bit, but I just kind of want to go back over it again. When it comes to different parts of a song, like roar, for instance, we have a bunch of different parts. So first, we have an intro, And an intro is just the music that happens before the singing happens, okay? Which we haven't really talked about that a whole lot. We just kind of started out to where the singing happens. And when the singing starts, that's what we call our verse. And usually we have multiple verses, so we're going to call that verse 1, okay? Then we have, let's see, for roar, we go ahead with verse 2. Sometimes that happens. But sometimes when there isn't a verse 2 yet, we go ahead and start with the pre-chorus. So, a pre-chorus is just what happens in between a verse and the chorus. So and the pre-chorus always repeats before the chorus happens. So the chorus is, I got the eye of the tiger, that part. The pre-chorus is, you held me down, but I got up. So the pre-chorus always happens before the chorus, okay? So we have the pre-chorus, and I know it looks like chorus, but we say chorus. Then we always have the chorus right after. Then, after the chorus, we go ahead with another verse. So that would be verse 3, because we've already had verse 1 and 2. Then we would usually have the pre-chorus. And what comes after the pre-chorus? The chorus. And in this case, this song has 3 verses, so it's pretty long. So after the chorus, sometimes we have something called a bridge or an interlude, but typically I will say bridge. I know that's a really weird word. And the bridge of this song would be the roar, 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 that part, if that makes a little bit of sense. And then, I know I'm not the best singer. Then we have our chorus again, and usually the chorus might happen once or twice, and that's how the song will end. And occasionally we will have an outro. So like we had an intro at the beginning, we have an outro, which is just our ending. Sometimes. Okay? So, there's a lot of parts to a song. So, I want you to know what all these parts are called. That way, whenever I talk about them, that you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, we've already learned verse 1, and technically, we've learned verse 2. We just didn't know it. So I think we've only talked about verse 1, but verse 2 is the same exact thing as verse 1. So the G, G, E, C that we learned last week, you're going to do that 2 times, and that will cover verse 1. So I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, that part. And then verse 2. I guess that I forgot I had a choice, that part. Then we haven't really talked about the pre-chorus yet. So I'm going to go over verse 1 and verse 2, and I'll also talk about the intro a little bit. So the intro, all we're going to do is hold G twice, okay? So what we've done for verse 1 is we've done G, G. This is our left hand, right? We did G, G, E, C, okay? For our intro, we're just going to do G twice. And all of these, our right hand's going to be doing D and G, okay? And when I say all these different ones, you're going to hold all of them for 4 beats, okay? You're going to count to 4 for each of them, okay? So I'm going to write all right there. Okay, so our verse 2, like I said, is going to be the same thing as verse 1. So let's go over that. We're going to start with the intro, which is G twice, and then go into the verse 1 and then verse 2. Okay, So, also, I'll hold this up if y'all want to take a screenshot of this. But I'm also going to attach it so you can print it out if you would like also. All right. So, we have the intro. 1, 2, 3. Oh, make sure you set up your hands. You can use this finger and this finger, or this finger and this finger, or whichever two. Just make sure you're playing D and G. And then left hand starts on G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So I did that at a pretty normal speed compared to the song. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4. This tempo, I kept the same tempo the whole time, which is like the heartbeat of our song. So let's do it again, and we're going to do it at a little bit of a slower tempo. So we're going to slow it down. I'm going to count us off. We're starting back at the intro. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. G again. 2, 3, 4. Verse 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. Verse 2. G, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to sing along with it so you can kind of understand how the words are going to act with what we're playing. So starting back at the intro. 1, 2, ready, go. I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. Okay, so that is all for today. Hopefully I'll see you back again next week. And yeah, hopefully this will work out for you. If you have any questions, just text me and let me know. And if you have any trouble with the email, which, I mean, if you have trouble with looking at the video, you wouldn't hear this. So, if you have any questions about this video, just let me know. See you next week.